All right, so the month of October was really awesome. I had a ton of stuff to do. One of the things that I started doing was actually redoing my garage. This was the all setup as far as I had just kind of my saws and everything all over the place. So I kind of moved the tables, angled it out, and I was able to do a lot of work on my truck. I actually restored the truck, but the reason that I started doing this big project is because, as you can see there, the setup with my son, he has his own room, but that other setup is actually my daughter's. It's in the living room, and it's actually part of the kitchen and everything else. And on top of that, my wife and me do all our stuff in the living room as well. So we have a bit of a we actually don't have any space for ourselves. So I basically started sketching, and this was my initial sketch that I started out. I sketched out how the rooms were gonna look in comparisons where the cars would fit, and I thought that the best place to start doing a room would be in part of the garage, because it's the closest to the house, and also you can start off from the garage, and I already have a 2-bay garage, so dividing that garage in half and still having a garage. Most people generally just have a 1-bay car garage. Okay, so now that the sketching is done, this is the initial first problem. The actual flooring itself has concrete that comes off and it sticks out. If I was able to, or if I plan on doing a room or anything like that, I have to cover this up. Once I cover that up, it's got to be flush all the way around. The first thing that I did when I initially came up here is pull all those boardings so I can see the actual studs going all the way to the roof and exposing any electrical circuits that I have along the way. This is what I got to work with. 2-bay car garage. It's really close to the wall, and so this is what it looks like with it exposed. And as you can see, I already pulled out the boards, and you can see all the electrical and everything that's back there. I'm gonna have to actually call an electrician because I don't know anything about electricity. So now that I identify exactly what I want to do, I know what the problems are that I'm gonna be facing with. I know that I'm gonna be trying to make this flush because I don't want to deal with that. So I definitely got 2x8s, 2x10s, and 2x12s, and the actual 2x8s fit flush all the way across the concrete. It's about a 9-inch gap that I would have to initially fill. And off of the drawings that I have, I went ahead and did I had electrical tape, a lot of electrical tape, so I put a bunch of electrical tape on the floor to actually give me a rough idea of what my drawings were actually going to look like in real life. And it actually helped out a lot because it showed me exactly what I wanted to see without actually putting up any walls. All right, so now that I know exactly where my walls are going to go at, I got an energy drink, and then I started ordering material. I went to Home Depot, and then I got sheetrock ordered. I got 2x4s, 2x6, 2x8s. I got windows, insulation, and it came in 2 different packages, but it made its way over to my house. So this is the part where I start calling electricians. Electricians start coming over. This is the mark that actually means light. And we start drawing lights, we start drawing switches, we start drawing everything and anything that's gonna go in this room. And they keep drawing it on the floor. I keep drawing it on the floor. I keep drawing it on my initial sketches and everything like that. And I had a total of 6 electricians come to my house. Then Halloween comes and costumes start coming, and my kids are starting to get costumes, and we start walking around the neighborhood, all the decorations and everything as far as Halloween happened in October, and it was pretty cool. But it's a different Halloween because of COVID. But I didn't want to like blow it off as far as being Halloween. I still wanted to give my kids candy, so I had to factor everything that I was doing as far as the garage and Halloween and the kids and family. Because you know what, like, no matter how hard I work and so much work that I do, I'm never ever gonna get that time back and spend it with my family ever again. So that Halloween is really important, and actually every day that I spend, every hour, second. So then I started doing measurements and cutting as far as the actual flooring and how to get it flush. The steps that you see out there, as far as the 2x8, it's gonna go forward, up, down, and up again. And those cuts were really, really complicated, but I went ahead and took my time, did it as neatly as possible, as close as possible, and did everyone individually, and just kept cutting, and cutting away. Tops, bottoms, continue going on, and just trying to get it as close as possible. And then finally, bam, I got them all. It's just one by one. I chopped away one by one until all of them were finished. And then the wall just started coming by together, and I just started going at it again. Every one of the studs I put individual time and just kept cutting and kept measuring and just repeating the process. So after work and during all my free time, I invested a lot of time in actually pulling up all these studs all the way to the top, and that's gonna make the sheetrock flush all the way down to the bottom. Along the way, I also had to fix a flat. My kid had a flat tire. So upon finishing this wall, I started on the other one. But the other one was a bit more specific because it actually had a window. And it took a little bit more measuring and getting everything, but I chipped away slowly. Just taking one stud at a time, taking the corners at a time, how I'm gonna do the bottom of the window, cutting out the window, and just coming at it day after again. And I even had a ton of spare wood, and we actually used it for a firewood. And not to mention, but I had a couple energy drinks along the way. But finally, I got the window where I wanted to be, and I got the walls where I want them to be. And stuff is starting to fall into place, and I'm starting to get more of the look that I was planning initially when I first got my sketches. And then I just kept plugging away. I kept fixing stuff or making things actually work in reality. As far as the sketch can only take you so long, but once you start seeing how things are falling into place, you can actually maneuver around the actual existing material that's already there. And if I had to do any adjustments, I started doing adjustments, but the walls all started coming up. Okay, so now once the walls started coming up, I had a general idea of like who the electrician or who I was gonna contract with as far as was gonna do all the electrical. And I got the floor plan already mapped out as far as what I wanted for lighting, switches, outlets, and everything that's gonna go in as far as electricity. So I contacted the electrician. He saw that the walls were coming up. I got him to come in and start drilling the holes and getting everything set up for a brand new panel is gonna get installed. And that old panel is going to get removed and a new one's going to come in. The following thing that I have to do is I have to tie down the 2x4s onto the concrete. So these are red heads, and these have to get pounded in and tighten up, and that's what tightens up the 2x4s. As you can see, like the walls, I ripped them out. The grounds also weren't up to code. I have one ground and I need an additional 2 grounds. Luckily for me that the meter is all right, and I didn't have to do anything with the meter. So the meter actually got to stay there, and that's minus headaches, or minus part of the headache, and everything is chugging along right on to Halloween.
can't eat that. It's not candy.
It's eraser.
Hey, look at this. Papa, what is this? Is it slime?
It looks like slime.
I think it is.
Some happy slime.
I think I'm gonna put it back in here. Hey, what is that on the? Yeah. So I'll take Can you put this in line?
This is how we prepare for Halloween in the future.
Can I eat one?
No.
It's
not
I
Halloween.
like this one. Maybe I'll keep this one.
Whoa, I wonder what these are. This looks good too. Red Bird handcrafted candy.
So the electricians actually came through and did all the holes as far as where their wiring is going to be at and put all the boxes. And I got an Xbox as far as October. And me and my son, we actually, it was pretty cool. Like we got to play Call of Duty until the mama lady came through and said that we can't play split screen. And so, but it was cool. And then I definitely got more tacos. And second favorite taqueria is Sabroso. And definitely, yeah, the room's not done as far as this month, but I got a lot accomplished as far as the things that were supposed to be accomplished in order for me to get the room finished.